If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Alrighty, welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics Tuesday evening. We have another recap and preview. We have a very fun recap, arguably the most fun recap of the year, arguably one of our most fun recaps ever because we got to go against our old king, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, we all still want good things for him, even though he doesn't play for the Packers, but we would have been okay with it if he sucked this week. And the Packers got the best of him, so that's the fun part. Obviously, the Packers winning is also fun, even though the first half wasn't, but the second half was damn near flawless. So we're going to recap the Packers win over the Steelers from Sunday Night Football and then preview their upcoming matchup with the Carolina Panthers back at home. So we're going to hit the intro and get into it.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Alrighty, so we got a little bit of a switch up in the way that we're covering some stuff this week. Instead of covering up the blitz versus coverage type stuff, Simon's going to be covering the run defense from now on. So we're actually going to start with Jake and the pass rush this week. We're going to cover the pass rush first, seeing as that's probably the most exciting thing the Packers have going for them right now.
I don't know. There's a guy wearing number 10 who's pretty exciting.
He's pretty exciting. A little bit inconsistent. The pass rush has been consistent no matter what.
Okay, that's fair. Consistent is a much better word in my opinion. So pass rush this week was clutch is what I would explain it as. 3 sacks on the day, 1 hit. The 3 sacks were game-changing in my opinion. So Parsons had 1 sack. His sack came on a first down, was a 10-yard loss. The next play after that, Parsons was this close to having back-to-back sacks. And actually, Brian brought it up, but there was a clip that was posted online. I saw it on NFL. I think it was on TikTok where I saw it. Parsons did an interview after the game talking about how he asked Rodgers how he knew that he was there, and Rodgers said that he heard the crowd getting loud, and Parsons is just like, man, that's such a vet move. Just that is a vet move, and then Rodgers told Parsons to buy his house, which is hilarious. I always wonder the conversations that happen, and that's the one thing I always appreciated about Aaron, that even though he was able to just dice you up and throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and just make it look easy, he's also out there just cracking jokes, like he's just having a good time in the backyard with the boys, and that's the thing that I do miss about Rodgers, and obviously he was doing that on Sunday as well. Rashawn Gary had 2 sacks. Both of them were because of Micah Parsons' pressure. We can call it what it was, but Rashawn Gary finished the play. Both of his sacks came on 3rd down, so those were massive game-changing plays right there, momentum-swinging plays. The 2 guys that got absolutely destroyed on the Steelers' offensive line, who were just terrible, was Troy Fauntu. Oh, God, I'm saying that name wrong. And Mason McCormick. Troy gave up 3 hurries, 3 pressures, and 1 hit. McCormick gave up 4 hurries and 5 pressures. So together they had 7 of the 10 pressures that were given up and 8 of the 12 or hurries and 8 of the 12 pressures. I mean, that's just terrible. The right side of their offensive line was getting abused all night long.
That's not even where a guy got hurt.
Yeah, right. And I really liked how Hafley was moving Parsons around. They were talking about it on the broadcast, where when Parsons is just kind of out, versus the left tackle, they can slide the guard over and double team him easier. Well, when you put him over the right behind Devontae Wyatt, where you don't know which A-gap he's coming through, that makes it a lot harder to defend him, makes it a lot harder to defend the Green Bay Packers defense as well. Also, I think that's where Gary gets more one-on-ones. not just with Parsons, on the outside and Gary on the other side, making them decide where Parsons is coming makes it a little bit easier for Gary, also Devontae Wyatt, to have some one-on-ones as well. So the pass rush was clutch this week.
I would say also in that, this could be in the coaching section, but Jeff Hafley deserves credit for making that adjustment.
Sure.
The Steelers, Micah Parsons' sack came against 3 people. He got chipped by a tight end and then was splitting a double team between a guard and a tackle to get his sack. So, moving him to a place where he can't be triple teamed, that's a good adjustment by Jeff Hafley. I just want to say something quick on the comment you made about Aaron Rodgers being a guy who's being able to play good football, but also looking like he's having fun out on the field and having fun. That is something that I think people would be like, yeah, well, he's supposed to just be playing football because they don't like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. But then, and this is something we can put a pin in if we want to, we're also seeing that from Romeo Doubs having more fun on the football field, and people are fucking loving it that Romeo Doubs is having more fun on the field. So just want to throw that out there. Jumping into the defensive line, they played well, really, especially the second half, like everything else. Rashawn Gary was great, turning 5 pressures into 2 sacks, plus 2 run stops. Micah was Micah, 5 more pressures, opening things up for others. Carl Brooks had 3 pressures and almost had a forced fumble, but Aaron Rodgers got rid of it on a savvy, I'll give him a savvy veteran drop of the football to make it look like he has to add his running back.
It pissed us off, but he's definitely done that in Green Bay uniform before, and we're like, man,
I just hate the rule. I just hate the rule because that was
rules that are stupid.
Facing him,
right? Running back was actively engaged in a block just because he's an eligible pass catcher. I mean, I feel like that's one that the referee should be able to get together and be like, all right. Like, he's intentionally grounding the ball so that he doesn't give up a fumble or a sack.
I mean, that's just Rodgers being smarter than the rules.
And that's what it is. That's part of knowing the rules. Like, if the rule isn't changed, that's still the rule. Like, there's nothing like illegal about it or, cheating about it. It's just knowing the rules. The guy that I want to emphasize on the defensive line is Kingsley Enagbare. He had a couple pressures, but he made back-to-back plays against the Steelers to set them back 5 yards on a run play and made a great read against a run, which is a huge deal because that's something that I've been looking for him to do for feels like 3 years now, is to make plays against the run. And then a really good play against the screen that the Steelers were only able to give it a yard off, and that drive ended in a field goal. So I wanted to give Kingsley Enagbare his credit. In addition to obviously all the pass rushers. So, Simon, how did the Packers do against the run?
Sorry. Run defense is all right. Honestly, they had 2 long runs of 17 and 14. Outside of that, so in total they allowed 93 yards on 18 carries. But if you take away their 2 longest runs, it drops down to 62 yards on 16 carries or 3.8 yards per carry. Total on those 18 carries, they had 9 quote-unquote stops per PFF. Before the game, the Packers defense had allowed the 4th fewest rushing yards before contact, which means they're really getting up on the line of scrimmage and not letting these guys – like, they're playing their run gaps really good. And the 2nd fewest yards after contact, which means they're tackling the guy. They're the only NFL team to rank in the top 5 in both of those categories.
Bryant, how about the linebackers and the tackling?
Yeah, I thought the linebackers, once again, I feel like they've been probably one of our most steady duos throughout the year so far. They always end up getting a bunch of, throws credited against them. I don't really count that against them too much. There's definitely sometimes you're like, okay, I wish they could be a little more competitive there. You've seen Edge almost take a pick 6. You did see Tyron Hopper have a really good pass defense. For whatever reason, PFF didn't give him credit for pass defense. They probably said
because it was on a 2-point conversion.
Oh, okay. Either way, great play by Tyron. I'll say I was a little surprised. I felt like Cooper was everywhere, At the end of the game, he only had 5 tackles, including 3 run stops, but I kind of felt like he was everywhere. So really good job by him. Quay was actually a little more quiet, but I'll say that penalty that he drew, that everyone's like, oh, Quay, he has an anger issue or whatever. That happened 1 year. For his rookie year, he hasn't done anything since then, but people want to hold it against him. Well, guess what? He just got poked in the eye, and then his face mask grabbed, and he didn't respond. And that took what was going to be a 3rd and 2 into a 3rd and 17. And that pretty much, like Matt LaFleur came out and said, to him, that was just as good of a turnover because there was no way Aaron Rodgers was holding on to the ball long enough to really get something set up for 17 yards downfield. He didn't want any. You could see it anytime they're on 3rd and long. Rodgers was like, "I'm checking it down. We're just moving on."
Yep.
Yeah, because they completed a couple long passes, but he wanted no part of a 3rd and 17 against Micah and Rashawn Gary. So, really good job by Quay. McDuffie had 4 tackles, a couple run stops. So as a team, they only missed 3 tackles. McDuffie had 1 missed tackle, and then a couple other players missed 2 or 1 each. So Evan Williams missed 1, and I can't remember who the other one was, but 3 total. So overall, 3 missed tackles is phenomenal. So.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Dude, Cooper and Quay were fucking elite on Sunday, especially the second half. They were really, really, really good.
Yeah.
They were flying around everywhere.
Yep.
All right, Jake, I know this is going to be an exciting topic. 3rd and 4th down defense.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm going to start it by saying this. They had 10 third downs. 7 of the 10 third downs where they had at least 8 yards to go.
Oh, hell yeah. Love that.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in a really good, down and distance situation. They had 2 attempts from the 3rd and short area. They converted 1 of 10. One of the one they converted was a 3rd and short situation. They had 1 from 3rd and medium. So in the first half, they were 0 for 4 from 3rd down. They had 2 other 3rd down opportunities in the first half. Both of them they got automatic first downs because of penalties on Nixon. Nixon was getting picked on a little bit. One of them was one that I was kind of bitching to you guys about, where I'm just really sick and tired of the PI calls where it's a perfect play call and Hafley called it perfectly. This is probably where he knew that Micah was going to dominate up the A gap because he called a blitz for Edgerrin Cooper up the A gap. And if Rodgers holds onto that ball for another half second, he's dying because Cooper was coming like a bat out of hell, dude. And he's probably going to blow up Rodgers. Rodgers just throws the ball near a wide receiver who the ball is uncatchable in my opinion. I don't understand why that's a flag on Nixon. Like Nixon's just running down the field, and the wide receiver obviously knows like, hey, I might have to cut this off here. Where Nixon doesn't know that, obvious. But like the ball's uncatchable. Now, if the wide receiver can get his hands on it, I would understand a flag. But just throwing the ball near a guy, that's just stupid to me.
I'll say overall, Nixon had his hands up, and he really hardly ran into him too. The guy just stopped completely. Like for me, it's just like, what is he supposed to do there? Yeah. Could he put his hands straight up so if it hits the ball, they call a pass breakup? Like, what do they want him to do other than turn his head around?
He tried to turn his head around too. Yeah, you can see it. So he was like this.
Yeah, he was looking over his right shoulder.
I saw 2 people say, "Why didn't he just turn his head around?" Do you understand the amount of time that he has to make that decision?
He's also not a fucking owl.
Yeah, dead ass. So they had 2 39s that were converted because of penalties. Otherwise, they were 0 for 4 in the first half. Second half, they were 1 for 6. Every 3rd down that they had, this is the craziest part of this. Every 3rd down they had, they threw the ball. They didn't run the ball 1 freaking time on 3rd down. I go through every single play every week, and I look for the 3rd downs, and I read if it's a pass or it's a run. Then I separate it by first half, second half. They passed every single 3rd down. That's crazy.
That is wild.
And this is a game where they had the lead in the first half. And they were still in the game for the majority, the 3rd quarter, but then Jordan Love just absolutely was on a freaking heater. We're going to get there, but
yeah, we'll get there for
3rd and 4th down, that was exciting to talk about. I agree, Tyler.
Simon, how did you feel about secondary?
Yeah, obviously, I think everyone kind of saw that Nixon had a little bit of a rough first half with the 2 penalties, allowing the 45-yarder Roman Wilson down the field, and the touchdown. I mean, the touchdown to DK, that's just like one of those things where there's not much you can really do. He just bodied him on an inside slant, and I mean, Nixon was there. It wasn't like he was wide open or anything. It's just DK is a good athlete. He's a big dude.
He's a 6'4" muscle.
And I saw
more
it was
unstoppable plays that they're
on. It was either that or going to be a fade. And
on those, I wish they would. A lot of times, I wish the cornerback would play inside and make them throw the fade because I feel like you have more time to.
Let me just say this: if Aaron Rodgers sees a cornerback lining up on the inside, he's throwing the ball at the pylon, and DK Metcalf is just catching it on his back shoulder.
Or it's a back shoulder.
We saw that 100,000 times.
I still think that ball has to be in the air more, and you have a better chance of making a play on it. I'm not saying that it's a high chance, but on inside slant, it's almost impossible to stop. We see Romeo Doubs do it to people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I would almost rather force the fade or the pylon shot where you might have one extra step to try to get a hand up and do something against it.
Against not Aaron Rodgers, I could agree with you, but
I see what you're saying. I just think that play was just sort of inevitable. I think DK was always going to be the target and whatever route he ran, and he's just going to be a bigger dude than Nixon.
Yeah. Shout out to Nixon though, the play before that got them to that spot for knocking Metcalf out of bounds on his ass. That was a good hit.
That was a good hit.
And a good play by Nixon to not shy away from that.
True.
All right. How about
I wasn't done. Sorry. After the first half, I thought the secondary kind of settled in pretty well. Up until the garbage time touchdown to Roman Wilson, which Valentine was obviously right there for. He had each of them had a pass breakup, and then after that, it was just mostly tight ends and the backs getting catches, which has nothing to really do with the secondary. You just kind of keep everything in front of you, don't allow anything deep.
Yeah, force them to dink.
Oh, and lastly, I thought the Hobbs situation was interesting because earlier in the week or whatever, Jeff Appley was like, I think Hobbs is going to play much better. This dude played 4 defensive snaps this week. And it'll be interesting to see because he started the game too. I don't know if you guys saw that. Hobbs started the game. And then Valentine just ended up playing like 30-some snaps and Hobbs sat on the bench. His Bullard played the slot.
Which I'm fine with. Bullard is good out there. I like him against the run.
He's getting a lot better. He looks like good this year in coverage as well. He struggled a lot in coverage. He's definitely like a downhill, more of like a box eight, but he looks a lot better in coverage this year.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
It would be a better problem to have if Nate Hobbs could play better in the slot. All right, how about red zone defense? Scott, yes, it was a great second half by the whole team in all phases. Absolutely. All right, red zone defense.
Red zone defense. Here we go. So this is literally all I wrote. I wrote they only had one attempt. They did score a touchdown. They did stop the 2-point conversion. So I'm going to count that as part of the red zone defense because that was a clutch play by Hopper. Elite play because if they get that 2-point conversion, it's a 1-score game. Took another amazing catch to score on Green Bay. Pickens had 2 great catches. That comes to mind. Jamar Chase had a crazy catch.
Metcalf, not Pickens.
I'm talking about all the great catches that have happened against the Packers. And if this is the type of stuff that's needed to score on the Packers and we're only giving up 1 attempt a game, I don't really need to go over percentage of scoring because they're really not giving up that many opportunities to score. So I think the red zone defense is fine. Honestly, they just don't let them get there. So that works for me.
Yeah. Reggie, welcome back. So, Bryant, how do you feel about special teams?
Yeah, I kind of give up at this point. I don't know what they're doing. Why they decide, you know what, let's just send out Nixon for a punt return out of the blue, out of nowhere. What does he do? He immediately musts it. Thank God Zane Anderson's there to recover it.
Yeah.
What was wrong with Dobbs? I know Dobbs isn't taking anything explosive. He did have a couple nice returns. He had like a 7-yarder and an 11-yarder this game. But guess what? He's catching the ball. Why introduce any kind of difference in that? Furthermore, I'd much rather have just sent out Golden than to get the ball in Golden's hand than Keyshawn, who never looks comfortable catching a punt, ever.
Or Savion, who's doing the kickoff returns.
Yeah. So I don't understand that call. Part of me kind of feels like maybe McManus rushed back because he like heard the media, and I don't know. Like, I don't think there was ever, even with Havertz kicking well, and I think I told you guys this last week. McManus has more veteran experience. I don't think you just jump to a different kicker that was had a flash in a pan quick. Yeah. So the 57-yarder, I'll give him a little grace on. He probably wasn't fully healthy. Pittsburgh is not a fun place to kick in. I mean, that field looked miserable. And even Matt LaFleur came out and said that pushed their boundaries a little bit, what they felt comfortable him making pregame. Okay, I'll give him that one. He missed it by a yard. The 44-yarder, that's really inexcusable. I don't know. You see they call the timeout. He's kicking an extra kick on the sideline, and then he just yanked that one left. The ball is sideways when he kicked it. You could tell he was going to miss right off his foot.
Yep.
I will say he made his kicks in the second half, but they're all short kicks. So, but it's still good to see him go through. He still has to make those extra points and those field goals, and all those kicks look much better.
Yep.
Whelan punted well. He had a 50-yard average. And I'll say Savion, to me, he does decent returns. I feel like he's almost always getting out to the 30, 35-yard line. When he's
getting out there, he looks good.
Yeah, so I like him returning the ball. I'll say this. In past years, that shit we saw from special teams, for sure, like, we wouldn't have recovered the Nixon muff. You know what I mean? And then, like, these missed field goal, we just would have never recovered from it. But this year we did. I mean, this game we did. Like, we overcame that, and we were able to win the game. So that was encouraging to see.
Yeah. There's one more thing on special team. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, stop trying cute shit. Like, we don't need them to do anything special. We just need them to be like, if they sent Dobbs out there and said, hey, Dobbs, I don't care if you have 30 yards of space, just fair catch the ball. Like, I'd be fine with that at this point.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Simon.
It's just one. I don't understand why we keep kicking it in the end zone, and a lot. I can't remember. No, there was one. There was one. It was right after we scored at one point. Maybe it was like right before half or something. I can't remember.
It was when we took the lead to go up by like 3 or whatever, and we kick it right into the damn end zone.
That annoyed me a little. That annoyed me a little bit because they had like decent starting field position most of the first half.
There was another one that he kicked that was like right on the end zone line. Yeah. The ball kind of carried him into the end zone, so he was able to deal with it. I mean, like the last kickoff that they had too was like right on the line that he had to bring out, and the coverage was good, I think too.
Yeah, the coverage was pretty decent last night.
Yeah, the one after our touchdown in the first half, it was barely into the end zone. So that one I'll give him a little bit of grace on, but I agree with you. Every time we kick it like to the 3-yard line, our coverage has been really good. Yeah. Evan Williams has been absolutely flying down there and smoking people. And what I do have to mention one other thing is Nick Neiman got hurt.
Yeah.
Probably tore his pec, and he's been a special teams ace for us, so that's going to hurt a little bit.
So Christian Welch back? Or what?
That's exactly what I was thinking of too.
Because he's on a practice squad, and he knows the system.
Yep. And he's like a halfway decent linebacker. He can play in a pinch.
Yeah. And I trust him on special teams wholeheartedly.
Yep.
Scott, no, the backup kicker did not sign with the Vikings. Ben Sims, the tight end, signed with the Vikings.
Yep.
He was originally signed by them as an undrafted free agent.
Havertz is still on our active roster.
Yes.
So we'd have to trade him.
Yep.
So, Cody said Zach Tom. We will get to that in the offensive line. I just want to jump in on coaching. Last week, I called out Jeff Hafley for playing soft against Jacoby Brissett. This week, they played tight versus Aaron Rodgers. I do think he also deserves credit for playing Carrington Valentine over Nate Hobbs. Carrington Valentine had a really good game. I am going to hold my Matt LaFleur commentary until we talk about Jordan Love. The Packers did win time of possession 31-48 to 28-12. I do like that as well. And then one other thing that I just want to point out, this is more of a whole team thing than just specifically coaching, but I'm seeing a lot of social media people being like, "Oh, the Packers lost to the Browns. We shouldn't take them seriously." That was 5 weeks ago. Joe Flacco was on a different team back then. Lamar Jackson was healthy back then. Like, the Major League Baseball playoffs hadn't even started yet, and we are on Game 4 of the World Series. Like, that was 5 weeks ago.
The Chiefs were under 500.
Yeah. The Packers now have a 3-game winning streak. That is the longest active streak in the NFC. So I just want to throw that out there. Steve said minimal or no gain on punt returns is leaving a lot of meat on the bone. Yes, but a fumble would leave much more on the bone. That would be a much more detrimental outcome. Jump into the offense and start with tight ends on National Tight End Day. Somebody had a special day.
Oh, gosh. I mean, what can you say about Tucker Kraft that we haven't already said? He's just, what an absolute monster of a game. Just starting with the stat line, he went 7 for 8 for 143 yards. He had a drop, but no harm, no foul when the rest of the game is just absolute domination. And this is like, I mean, when Love threw that like air ball up to Tucker Kraft, I was like clenching it. I was like, oh my God. That was just an impressive concentration by Tucker Kraft to go up there, get it, break a tackle, run down, break another tackle, and go for 50. Like, what a crazy good play. He's just, I mean, if you're starting a franchise over and you're choosing what tight end to start your franchise with, he's like top 2 or 3 to me.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to make an argument for McBride or Bowers, I could probably hear you out.
Yep.
Or maybe
McBride. Honestly, the only guys that I would consider would be Bowers and Warren.
I was going to say Warren's probably up there as well. He's playing. He has a shot at Rookie of the Year. I don't even know if there's ever been a tight end that's won Rookie of the Year, but he's showing out. Good for him. But he's easily in the top 3-4 conversation. He had 131 yards after the. Oh, go ahead, Brent.
All right, I think people don't realize that Tucker Kraft is only 24 years old.
Yeah, he's going to be.
He's going to be rich.
Yeah, we're going to pay him a lot.
It's a good problem to have, but he just keeps adding more and more money onto his contract.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not going to lie to you. Romeo Dobbs is like so far gone, and I don't care because we're paying 85. Yeah. If they pay 85, I don't give a fuck.
I'll talk about Romeo Dobbs when we get to it.
Yeah. So other than that, I thought he's really developed his blocking game as well. He had a couple of key blocks where he was just left kind of a 1-on-1 or like 2-on-1 versus, one of the best defensive ends in the game. And he absolutely, left his mark. He played really well in the blocking game too. Other than that, Musgrave had 1 catch for 5. Fitzpatrick had 1 for 4. Just a couple key extra things. Tucker Kraft had 131 yards after the catch. And that's the third most yards after the catch in a game by a tight end since 2016. On the season, Kraft leads all tight ends with 346 yards after the catch, 110 yards after the catch over expected, which is 56 more yards than any other player at any position. Every reception he had was against man coverage.
Oh, yeah.
He was just out there annihilating dudes in man coverage. He finished with the most yards against man coverage by tight end in the last 6 seasons. Last time someone had more was George Kittle in Week 14 of 2018.
Jesus,
that tracks.
Yeah,
a group of, they call themselves like the Steel Twins or something like that. They're watching the game. They do watch parties or whatever, and they were losing their mind over Tucker.
I'll find videos. I love watching stuff like that.
Like, freaking out about not being able to cover tight ends and like just losing their shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Crash out videos from like rival fans is like the funniest thing in the world to me, dude.
Yeah,
that's fun. Steve did find the research. Mike Ditko won Rookie of the Year as a tight end in 1960.
That was gonna be my only guess. That was gonna be my only guess. Was he had to be the only one?
Yeah.
Good find, Steve.
Kraft is gonna be team's worst nightmare. Can't wait until Lloyd and Reed come back. And I'll throw Wicks in there, but we'll see. All right, Bryant, how do you feel about wide receivers?
Yeah, I mean, wow. I'll say Christian Watson came back with a vengeance. I did not expect him to play 35, 36 snaps. I don't think the Packers expected him to play that many snaps. But his blocking was phenomenal. I think I told you guys there's one play with Tucker Kraft that throw him to the flat. He doesn't score a touchdown if Christian Watson isn't on the field there. And I'll props to Malik Heath on that block too. Them two on the same side blocking for like a screen to Tucker Kraft in the flat is a scary proposition for other teams because you have two huge blocking wide receivers. And I'll say this: Christian Watson's got to be in the top. And for my, I'm just not like I'm running and watching a bunch of tape of blocking wide receivers, but watching him block, he's got to be in the top like 5 of wide receivers blocking in the NFL. And then, so you have those two blocking, and then you have Tucker Kraft just with a full head of steam. Yeah, good luck. It's just not going to happen for you. And then on top of that, his blocking. He went on and put up 4 catches for 85 yards. He made a really tough catch along the sidelines in the first half. The concentration on that deep throw from and that Rodgers from Love. It reminded me of Rodgers, honestly, the throw, and it reminded me of one of his first touchdowns against Cowboys, that same route or whatever. But that high-low, it was just phenomenal. Props to Savion Williams getting his first touchdown. Good job on that. I didn't like the running play they called to him. I thought that was kind of ticky-tacky in that situation, but whatever. But I like the throw to flat and letting him get in a little bit of space and use his speed. Golden had a pretty quiet night. I will say he had a big first down catch on third down. That was nice. The one he did run backwards on, you don't want to see him doing that, but it is what it is. I see people freaking out about the fact that he deactivated his Instagram and all this other stuff. Apparently, it's probably because people are harassing him because he's not putting up big numbers. I think people are trying to turn him into a diva when he's not. He was banged up coming into this game, so he did still play the second most amount of snaps. And Jordan Love did miss him on a wide open, touchdown, but Jordan Love had to throw the ball there earlier. So I guarantee Jordan Love's going to see that, and they're probably pretty soon they're going to get this guy in the, he's fine. He's a rookie. 8 games. He's still over 200 something yards receiving. He's doing okay. Is he putting up the numbers Ted McMillan and Egbuka is putting up? No, but he's still a very important piece of this team. And he was
playing that role either.
He had people quickly forget how he's had several big catches for us this year.
Yep.
Like
on critical downs also.
On critical downs, exactly. And then Romeo Doubs was, Romeo Doubs again. He went 3 for 44, 2-point conversion, and 1 twerk. But his, I got talking about Romeo Doubs. Last year he would get a first down. He would sit up. He would look just stoic, just not like he's having a good time. Maybe point a first down. This year, for God's sake, he just twerked while there was people fighting behind him. He's dancing every first down. He's having so much fun, and I love to see it. Like I said this to you guys earlier, and this was one of my favorite players because how much fun he had. He's starting to remind me of Jamal Williams on the field.
Yeah,
I don't know that he's doing like the pregame dances like Jamal Williams would do and stuff, but Romeo Doubs is like just expressing himself and having a hell of a good time. And I love the vibes that he brings to the team. It's so fun. I love watching him catch a ball every time because he like puts the ball between his legs and does a little shake on the field and points a first down, big smiles on his face. And he's just having a great time. I don't know what was going on, last year with him. I think it was something more personal than it was with the, football team. And I think maybe that's gotten figured out or, I'm not saying that maybe he's seeing someone or something's helping him, but something's changed. And it's awesome. And he's making himself a lot of money. I don't know unfortunately, I don't think it can be with the Green Bay Packers because I just don't know how we pay him. But if we find a way to pay this guy at this point, I'm for it because I feel like he's just been a great person for this team. So kudos to him. Great guy. I don't know him personally, but he just seems like a great guy and he's just having a lot of fun out there. And honestly, he's becoming one of my favorite players to watch anytime he gets the ball. I will say he did have the one drop on that comeback. You would like to see him catch it. Now with Watson and Golden back, though, I do want to see them sending them two down the field a little more than what they've. Romeo Doubs is getting a lot of deep shots taken at him. He should have had a touchdown against the Arizona Cardinals. He smoked that guy. But let's get a couple of those thrown to like Golden or something at this point.
Steve did bring up a stat that I saw on Twitter today that Randall Cobb had 25 catches his rookie year and Golden has 21.
Yeah.
Already
that's
halfway through the year.
Yeah. Golden is just fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's pretty much all I got on wide receivers, but really solid game by them. And they have a tough challenge this week, and I'm excited to watch them again in person.
Yeah, that's exciting. I did see, and I understand that some people are sick of talking about Golden, and the prevailing opinion is that people just need to relax and let it happen instead of forcing it, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Now, on the passing game distribution, unfortunately, I did spend a lot of time watching Matthew Golden because I am also sick of seeing people complain about it. So Jordan Love targeted 10 different players. 10 different players had receptions. Tucker Kraft had 8 targets. Romeo Doubs had 6. Christian Watson had 4. And then after that, Josh Jacobs and Matthew Golden, Malik Heath and Emmanuel Wilson had 3 targets each. I've been pretty critical of Malik Heath the last 2 weeks. Basically doing nothing with the 48 snaps that he played. But against the Steelers this week in his 21 snaps, he ran 8 routes, he had 3 catches, and was efficient. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I was, like I said, you can go back, watch the last 2 weeks. I was very Malik Heath critical, saying that I need Christian Watson back because I don't want to see Malik Heath anymore.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know that there's much room. I like him. I don't know if there's much room at this point for Dontavian Wicks on the team. I think he'll be fine, but if someone gets traded, don't be surprised. If we're going to pick someone up, don't be surprised if Dontavian Wicks is out the door.
It's very, very possible that he's mentioned in a later segment today.
I mean, when he's liking tweets about not liking Matt LaFleur's game plan, he's kind of asking to be out the door.
I didn't see that, I guess, but yeah, that's not great.
Didn't see that either.
He liked the tweet from Watson's dad.
Oh, boy.
Watson's dad a couple weeks ago was talking shit about LaFleur's game plan. Dontavian Wicks liked the tweet. So
that's the guy I go to for football advice.
Yeah.
Steve said the fantasy football community needs to chill. We're playing winning football, and the offense is very good. Scott said,
I heard that.
We don't need a number 1 wide receiver. We have a great wide receiver room, and I agree with both of those comments.
Sounds like he was getting harassed, or someone said, I've seen somewhere, I don't know if there's validity to it, but basically Golden deactivated because people harassing him about not putting up big numbers in fantasy. It's like, if that's you need to seriously do some self-reflection.
I mean,
what you are as a person.
We've said it on our show, we would all take L's in fantasy football if it means the Packers win.
True.
Bro, I literally said it in our back chat. I lost all 3 fantasy football games on Sunday, but the Packers won, so I don't give a shit about fantasy football.
I was 6-0, and the Packers won. So boom. How about that?
It's a similar thing where a lot of people are talking about it because they're putting money on it. It's just like being like, "Oh, you sold my parlay, so now I'm angry at you."
So what do they think? Is Matthew Golden an NBA player and telling him he's going to do something in a game, and then so they can? No one's forcing them to bet on him.
Yeah, nobody's forcing you to spend your money on fantasy football. Also, nobody forced you to draft Matthew Golden. Maybe get good. Sorry.
Facts.
So, unfortunately, I did spend a lot of time. I actually watched literally every snap of Matthew Golden and watched just Matthew Golden. Now, he ran 28 routes. Love threw some hot reads to other players. Matthew Golden was used in motion a lot. He helped clear space underneath for with carrying defensive backs downfield. That was the biggest effect that Matthew Golden had. Something that we talked about when he was drafted and when the season started, that he is the guy that's helping carry DBs downfield. He is absolutely doing that. Just because he's not getting 4 go route targets a game doesn't mean that he's not doing that. I literally went back and watched all the snaps. He's carrying DBs down the field, which is opening things underneath for guys like Josh Jacobs, for Tucker Kraft, for Emmanuel Wilson, opening up those short plays. So Matthew Golden is still having an effect on those plays.
There's going to be a game where he frickin' explodes. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I would be very shocked if it doesn't happen.
If you want to leave Tucker Kraft wide open down low and let him get yards after the catch, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's on you if you want a guy to get bounced like a basketball.
Yeah. I saw one play where Jordan Love passed up on Matthew Golden open to try to make a bigger play to Romeo Doubs. And I saw 2 plays where he could have hit him if he had more time to throw, which is one thing that Brian brought up. If he had more time to throw, I think there were 2 plays that he could have hit Matthew Golden for. One of them was the one that Scott brought up that he missed a touchdown to. I think he needed more time to throw on that play. I think if he does get more time to throw, that he's able to read that. I think the one that he threw that could have been a touchdown to Golden was the quick toss to Emmanuel Wilson on their final drive.
Yep.
Or their final field goal drive, and there was about 5 minutes left. So that was that. He was also covered by Jalen Ramsey a lot. Might have heard the name. He was the best cornerback in the league, second best cornerback in the league for about 5 years.
Yep. Still very good.
He's still good.
Very good. He could tackle like a mother heller, dude. He's a really good tackler.
Yeah, he's good.
When he finally makes a change to safety, he's going to be scary. If he ever does.
He'll probably be an all-pro safety, in my opinion.
He'll extend his career by like 3 years, 4 years for them. But he was covered by Jalen Ramsey a lot.
Uh-huh.
So that I will level on some things with Jordan Love's lowest rating being when he was targeting Romeo Doubs. I do think Romeo Doubs could have been credited with 2 drops. One for sure, but could have been credited with 2. His second lowest passer rating targeting was Matthew Golden. So I would say you can maybe take 1 or 2 targets away from Romeo Doubs to Matthew Golden, but you're talking about 1 or 2 passes. That's it. And I also think that the Packers shouldn't be just forcing the ball to Matthew Golden because he's on your fantasy football team or because he was drafted in the first round. I don't care about that. I care about the team moving the ball. Like Scott said, I'm happy he spreads it around. We don't need a number 1 wide receiver. We have a great wide receiver room. Mm-hmm. And again, if we score 35 points on a day when we miss 2 field goals, why are we complaining about offense?
We're number 5 or 6 in all of NFL in scoring average. And people, like even we do it, complain, sometimes and it's because they're struggling, but at the end of the game, you're just put it in the chat, Simon. I know you're thinking it.
Don't you put the evil on me?
But at the end of the game, we're still at like 27 to 30 points. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. And I want to say one other thing. Bryant already brought up the one play, but he made a really bad decision on one reception that he had to turn around and try to run backwards. He turned a 4.5, 5-yard reception plus a chance to fall forward into a 1-yard reception. So don't do that. And then I'll say, like I said, that one throwaway, I think that could have been a touchdown, but that was 5 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game with a 2-score game. That was more taking care of the ball than trying to hold on to it longer to find somebody open. Also, Emmanuel Wilson was cooking that whole drive, so kind of just threw it in his direction, seeing if he could make a catch and make a play. So, all right. Brian, how'd you feel about the O-line?
Yeah, really interesting to see that they went back to the rotation. Sean Ryan actually outsnapped Jordan Morgan. Jordan Morgan, if you go by PFF, actually ended up being the top-rated offensive lineman in the game. I thought the pass blocking was pretty phenomenal. They did a good job. Zach Tom had a hell of a matchup against TJ Watt. He did a really good job there. He gave up like 3 pressures, but that should be expected against freaking TJ Watt. 0 sacks. I'll say Jordan Love did a phenomenal job of getting – he's got to be one of the best in the league of getting rid of the ball and not taking sacks and saving his offensive line from sacks. So kudos to Jordan on that. But overall, I will say I thought the run blocking was a little bit better, but it needs to be better yet. Everyone's freaking out. I've seen so many people say, I think maybe it's time to move on from Jacobs, or maybe Jacobs is, I'm like, dude, come on. Like,
oh my God.
Aaron Nagler was doing this chat, and I'm like, this is people that are just like, what did you do for me lately? Did you see the jump cut that Jacobs made on the touchdown run and then busted it outside? Yeah, keep that guy on our team, please. Emmanuel Wilson, we were just freaking out about him like 2 weeks ago because he couldn't do nothing on the ground.
I was pretty critical of him too, and he was really good on Sunday night.
Yeah, Jacobs is maybe a little injured. Maybe we need to let us sit out a game or something. But don't forget, this guy had a flu game plus a calf injury last couple weeks. Like, maybe he's not exactly 100%, but he's still doing what he can with the space that he's being given. Okay, so, but overall, I thought the offensive line, played pretty dang good when you only allow 8 pressures against that defensive line. We talked about them having like 4 players that had like 3.5 or more sacks come into that game, and they only took 1 penalty as well. So really, overall, really good performance.
Josh Jacobs is second in the NFL in touchdowns, and he's played 7 games, and Jonathan Taylor's played 8. Third place is Javonte Williams, who's also played 8 games. So, going to go ahead and say that even in limited snaps, he's still
touchdowns is nice, but Jonathan Taylor's on a different level.
Jonathan Taylor's
I hear you there. Like Josh Jacobs just has a nose for the end zone.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not going to hear any arguments with Tyler and I. We love Jonathan Taylor. Former Badgers. We watched him carry our sorry ass.
Signed right there.
Remember when there was smoke like last year prior about him getting traded to us? Yeah, I remember.
Whoa. I would have taken Jonathan Taylor in a heartbeat. That guy's a beast, dude.
He's the MVP frontrunner right now in my mind.
Steve said, I agree with that.
You're so ready for Lloyd, but Wilson is a solid running back. Wilson was much better this week. If we have this version of Emmanuel Wilson, I will pump the brakes massively on my criticism for him.
I think a lot of it is just happenstance too, to be honest with you. I didn't get to rewatch the full game, but I felt like there was a lot more running room for Emmanuel Wilson than what Josh Jacobs had to deal with. So yeah, let's just pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, I seen a comment earlier. Someone was like, the same offensive line, same this. I'm like, yeah, because they block the exact same and they win every same rep and everything. Like, get out of here with that. It's not the same.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if Josh Jacobs is healthy, fully healthy, Emmanuel Wilson's not getting more snaps than him or more carries.
Yeah, that's not happening. I did look it up. Jordan Love is the 6th fewest sacked quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And one of them below him is Michael Penix Jr., who has played 6 games. So out of people who have played all of the games so far, Bo Nix, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, and Sam Darnold are the only players who have been sacked less than Jordan Love.
Interesting.
All right. Simon, how about the run game? Now that we just talked about Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson.
I just basically talked about the whole segment. Just tough. Like I said, kind of a tough day for Jacobs. I felt like he got met at or near the line of scrimmage on almost all of his carries. He went 13 for 33. He only missed 2 tackles, and he had 2 yards after contact per attempt, which was a season low for him. He honestly he couldn't get much going. We say glowing things about Emmanuel Wilson. He had 11 carries for 61 yards and 3.18 yards after contact per attempt. I thought he made some really good reads going through his progressions and where and which lanes he should take and all that stuff. And then Savion Williams had his carry for 1 yard. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. It was just a little weird seeing him in the backfield and taking a carry. I was like, I don't understand what we're doing. But I always feel like there's a couple plays during the game where we're just like, what are we doing? And then Love had 1 carry for -1 yards. I think Love threw it so well he didn't have to run. Yeah, everything was just. I don't know if you guys saw his. Oh, we'll get into it. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
We'll talk about Love for sure.
Yeah.
Cody said Zach Tom doesn't care about your team's best pass rusher.
Facts.
Yeah.
My heart stopped for seconds when he got injured, but then I seen the replay. It's like, okay, he just someone stepped on top of his foot with a cleat. He'll be fine. That just probably does not feel good at all, especially when the other guy weighs 300 and something pounds.
And I was with you, Brian. I was like, oh no, not 50, no. Yeah. I was freaking out. I was like, please not.
And then I seen the replay and I was like, oh, okay, he'll be good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, his toe hurts right now.
He had the 1 penalty, but TJ Watt got him a penalty back, so we're even.
Yeah, they both decided to grab on each other.
Which could have mentioned that in the coaching part too. It's kind of like an in-between thing, but the penalties evened out. I don't want to hear shit about the offsides penalty when they missed a pretty blatant, not called first start that led to a big first down.
I couldn't believe they didn't call that.
He was like a 1 second ahead of the snap.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
So we're even. All right, third and fourth down offense.
Third and fourth down offense. First half, not great. 0 for 4. We had a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 3. Didn't convert any of them. We threw the ball in every single one of those. Now, I wrote down because I wanted to talk about Josh Jacobs. I really think that his calf is hurting him worse than he's letting on. So that makes what he's been doing over the last couple of weeks even more impressive. The calf injury and having, stomach bug flu game, as Bryant alluded to it before. Even more impressive in my opinion. Overall, they did go 5 for 12, so they were cooking in the second half. They threw the ball on 11 of the 12 attempts that they had, which is absolutely insanity. I wanted to give Tyler a pat on the back. He said, "Let Jordan Love throw the ball more." And when I was going over my plays, rewatching the game, I was like, they let Jordan Love throw the ball more. And the offense was humming. I can't wait to talk about Jordan Love. I literally
things that just make you go,
Same.
I wanted to do the breakdown, but I'm so excited to talk about Jordan Love, dude. Like I really am.
All right. Let me talk about the red zone, and then we'll do that. So
yeah, go ahead.
All right. Red zone. First time they got to the red zone, they were first and 10 at the 16-yard line, 16-yard touchdown Tucker Kraft. Second time they got to the red zone was a 2nd and 4 at the 20-yard line. Josh Jacobs had 2 runs for 3 yards, and they had the 4th and 1 converted with Tucker Kraft. So they had 1st and goal at the 10-yard line, a throw to Tucker Kraft for 2 yards, and then a Savion Williams screen for a touchdown. Third trip to the red zone was a 1st and goal set up at the 7 after that deep ball from Jordan Love to Christian Watson. That was a off balance across the body moon ball that cleared the safety's hand by about a foot right into the breadbasket of Christian Watson. Josh Jacobs took 2 runs to get into the end zone from there. Then the 4th one, they were a 1st and 10 at the 13. They were kind of just killing clock at that point, so they were a little bit more conservative in the red zone in that drive and then a field goal. So they were 3 of 4 in the red zone. Pittsburgh was allowing 47% coming into this game. The Packers scored on 75% of their red zone tries, so very happy about that. With this game, Packers probably should have won 38-25, like Bryant alluded to with the special teams. This was the Packers' first win in Pittsburgh since 1970. They won the second half 28-9. Let's talk about Jordan Love. So we're all very excited about Jordan Love. And, Jake, I want to thank you for giving me credit for Matt LaFleur letting Jordan Love finally sling the fucking rock around.
Dude,
but, Bryant, how did you feel about Jordan Love?
No.
He was okay.
All right. Simon, how did you feel about Jordan Love?
Yeah. Dude, some of the throws he was making, his movement in the pocket is insanely good. Like, and the off-platform throws. There's one where I was talking to you guys, he's sliding left and he kind of flicks it back to Emmanuel Wilson in the middle of the field, leads him so he can turn up field and run. That was that drive that Emmanuel Wilson was kind of took over the drive. We talked about the throw to Christian Watson where you see him running to the right. He leads his feet and, places a perfect ball. And then even that play, you can say he got a little lucky on the play to Tucker Kraft, and that was a huge play in the game. Let's talk. 3rd and 2, if we stop there, we're giving them the ball back again. We haven't done nothing. If that play doesn't happen, that play happens and we never look back. But if he doesn't get hit there throwing that ball, Tucker Kraft probably runs in for a touchdown because he had him perfectly on that post. So even to put the ball up there and give him a chance and just get it far enough out there to where Tucker Kraft can box the guy out and make the catch. I know the announcers wanted to say that was a push off. That would have been the weakest call in the world.
The DB grabbed him first.
Yeah. So
that's why I think they let it go.
Yeah, just to get that ball off there. Just watching him, he has total and utter control of this offense with him canning plays and everything. And then I want to say this, just after sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, I think my bold prediction was that he goes. I should find it. I think it was that he goes out and throws for more yards and touchdowns than
Rodgers.
Yeah, but he went out there and he everyone was talking about Rodgers. Love went out there and outshined Rodgers. Like he basically said, "I'm the captain now." And
Rodgers didn't even play bad.
Yeah,
no,
and I love the fact that I also like that. I love the fact that Rodgers played well, but we still won. Me and Jake have talked about how much and I know you guys do too, we all love Aaron Rodgers. So you've seen a couple vintage Aaron Rodgers moments and throws. So it was nice to see those. And I'm going to root for them for the rest of the year, and I would love to play against them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You mean beat them in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Especially if we win 31-25.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Please no. Can we just win by 30 so I'm not having a heart attack? But yeah, just amazing performance from Jordan Love, and the fact that he broke NFL history by being the first player ever to go for over 350, 3 touchdowns, 0 sacks, and 0 turnovers is and 20 straight completions is pretty insane.
Yeah. Simon, how'd you feel about Jordan Love?
Man, what a game by Jordan Love. This might have been his best game as a Packer. There's a couple.
It's his best regular season game.
Yeah. That was going to be the one I was comparing it to, the one. But I think he really put the team on his back in this game. And that's why I think it is his best game, because like he had a lot of help with like the run game with Aaron Jones, and everything else was just working for them versus Dallas. Well, this game, it was like, oh, Jordan Love just makes play after play, especially in the second half. 20 completions in a row. And I mean, that's just like unheard of territory. I don't really care. All the people that say, oh, his ADOT sucked. Okay, that's like the Steelers' fault. I don't know what you want to tell you. If you're gonna take away deep shots to Christian Watson and,
Matthew Golden,
excuse me. Sorry, I just feel like I have to burp. Then fine, like I said, leave Tucker Kraft open short. He'll put the team on his back too. Jordan Love put some really good balls in some really good places this game and put his teammates in positions to make plays. And I think that's exactly what you want from a quarterback. I don't care what the defense is. I don't care where the ball's going. He like I said, he put his teammates in really great spots to make some really good plays. And the ball to Tucker Kraft where he just kind of lofted it, like those are some things that you're gonna have to live with Jordan Love. Like sometimes those plays are not gonna work out, and there are gonna be interceptions. But then at the end of the day, that's what you want from your quarterback is their trust to put the ball in an area where their playmakers can make plays, and that's what Tucker Kraft did.
Well,
So,
how much time did we spend today talking about how Tucker Kraft is one of, if not the best tight end in the league?
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're talking about putting the ball up there for one of the guys who's best at his position in the whole NFL.
By the way, good adjustment by Kraft on that too.
Yeah, how many quarterbacks you see just shell up there and take a sack, and then it completely changes the game? That, like we just said, that completely changed the game.
Or throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's what Aaron Rodgers would have done. If we're being dead honest, Aaron Rodgers would have thrown that ball out of bounds.
Yeah, he would have probably,
If he couldn't find 17 those last few years, he's throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Scott
said, I hope the second half of the season he balls out like his first year. Yeah, we haven't even hit Toyotathon yet.
Oh, God damn it.
Have they announced Toyotathon yet?
That was my leading sentence.
Oh, dang it.
Fuck. I've been on the Toyotathon thing for years, dude.
I saw a tweet about it yesterday. I thought it was funny. Last thing I'll say is like he was really good versus the blitz on Sunday night. He went 12 for 17 for 211 yards and all 3 touchdowns against the blitz, and that's the third most yards against the blitz by a quarterback this season. But Love just absolutely tore it up Sunday night. That was one of the more fun games to watch in the last couple of years, in all honesty.
Yeah. The last hurdle that Love has to get over to be considered a top 5 elite quarterback is to up his numbers versus the blitz. Sunday night was a very good step in that direction. Yeah. Also, I have a question since we were kind of debating his best game. Which game do you think Micah Parsons would say was his best career game? The game against the Cowboys or the game that just happened on Sunday night? I'm going to assume he's going to say the one that happened on Sunday night, since that was a good feeling. But, I mean, nothing against Parsons. We had a triple team that guy all night when we played him in the playoffs.
I mean, Aaron Jones saved Jordan Love's ass a couple times in that game.
Yeah, he did.
Dude, he was literally running through 2 of our offensive linemen, and Aaron Jones was just getting freaking ran over by a cat truck. So, I mean, it's a wide open guys, honestly. I mean, Romeo Doubs had the game of his career that day. But
Stephon Gilmore has nightmares about Romeo Doubs.
He sure does. Jordan Love, dude, he was elite. His footwork was elite. His diagnosis of the defense, picking up the guy early. He started the game just kind of throwing a couple of the Romeo Doubs early, got Doubs going. And that was something that I was bitching at my TV about last week, in the Cardinals game. I was like, I don't care who you throw the ball to. Just pick a goddamn guy and throw the damn ball. Like, you have 3 seconds. Hike, 1, 2, 3, throw the damn ball. Get rid of it. Get rid of the ball. And he was really good at that this week. I have 2 things I want to say. First of all, I want to give massive credit to Christian Watson. Being available, coming back, blocking the way he did. He caught that deep bomb, which I still to this very moment, I watched that play about 100 times. I don't know how that safety misread that ball that badly. That was horrible. Horrible on his end. The play literally after that is the run to Josh Jacobs. He does not score without Christian Watson making that block. Christian Watson makes a disgusting block on that run that allows Jacobs to get into the end zone. All of it set up off a perfect throw from Jordan Love, off bounds, fading away. I mean, just from Steph Curry range, he hits a deep shot. The other thing I want to say is the first third down that the Packers completed was that jump ball to Tucker Kraft, by the way.
Yep.
That's insane. That is insane. We have so many weapons. The first thing I said to one of my buddies at work was, I was like, dude, we don't even have Jaden Reed back yet, dude. What are we gonna do? We're not even playing complimentary football. We look like shit in the first half. What are we gonna do if we play 4 quarters with a fully healthy team? Jordan Love's gonna throw for 500 yards, dude.
We're dropping 50 on somebody.
We are.
Might be the Panthers.
Burger's coming. So Jordan Love is just getting more and more confident. Toyota-thon Jordan Love is right around the corner. It's almost November. I look forward to November every year now just because of that reason, because Toyota-thon comes around, and then Jordan Love could turn into an MVP candidate. Don't sleep on him. He might end up on that MVP ballot at the end of the year.
For sure.
I think he's on it right now.
Like I said, I want to give credit to Matt LaFleur for letting Jordan Love sling the ball. And he said how hot Jordan Love got in this game. Simon mentioned the 20 straight completions, something that hadn't been done since Brett Favre in 2007, was part of the reason he kept letting Love throw the ball more. So I'm hoping that this is kind of a wake-up call that Matt LaFleur let Jordan Love sling the ball around. Mm-hmm. He's got all of the arm talent. He has all of the arm talent in the world. And he's shown that he's capable of making the calls at the line of scrimmage. So I'm down for giving him the one run, one pass play at the line and letting him pick which one he wants to run. And if that means passing the ball more, let's pass the ball more. I was looking for 35 passes this game. He threw 37. He completed 29, and it could have been 30 to 31, maybe 32 without some drops, which is just ridiculous because even without those passes, he completed 78.4% of his passes.
His completion
360 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Yeah, his completion percentage is up this year compared to where he's not the first 2 years. He's kind of started lower and had to catch up. A lot to do with drops. Mm-hmm. This year, drops have been not as much, and I mean he's over 70% on the season. That's a good number.
Packers have 3 credited drops this year. I think it could be 4 or 5, but they had 10 at this point last year. So, yeah. And we talked about the check down thing. Scott wants to put 50 on the Lions on Turkey Day would be fun. I think the other thing with that, Jordan Love, like I said, the check down thing, Simon made a great point on it. You still have to put the ball in the right place to give your guys a chance to run with the ball. Obviously, Tucker Kraft being an absolute animal helps, but I mean, you still have to give the guy a chance to make that play. I mean, you're talking, 35, 37 of the yards on that play being after the catch. You still have to give him a chance to go make it. Like we said, Aaron Rodgers probably throws that ball out of bounds. That's a little bit of Jordan Love having some of the Brett Favre in him, which is fine. Makes for exciting games. It also makes for some head-scratching interceptions, which he only has 2 of. He's got 2 interceptions through 7 games. 2. He could dead-ass finish this season with 33 touchdowns and 5 picks.
That's an Aaron Rodgers year, bro.
And people are still talking about his throwing decision-making. Yeah. Justin said Tucker around and find out.
That's a T-shirt right there.
This is why I would say regular season it's his best game. He had 134.2 rating. That's his career high in the regular season. Okay. So when kept clean, Jordan Love was 23 of 25, 92%. That is surgical. Yeah. All 3 of his touchdowns he was kept clean for. Completed 20 in a row at one point, like we said. The yards after catch is the yards after the catch. And the check down is a fair amount of this game, but he is still 4th in the National Football League in yards per pass attempt. So it's not like that's his identity. He's not a check down Charlie. It just worked this game because, like I said, Matthew Golden's carrying DBs down the field. Christian Watson is carrying DBs down the field, and Jordan Love took advantage of that by putting the ball in Tucker Kraft's hands. Who's complaining about that?
Not me.
Darian said, I definitely enjoyed Christian Watson's return, especially when I preached out that the offense is different and better when Watson is healthy. He absolutely is. It's great to see Watson back. Cody said the Love throw across the body and over the safety reminds me a lot of the play that made Ryan Clark hate us for eternity. Well played. All right, let's move on. Packers versus Panthers preview. Panthers are coming to Lambeau. So let's start with Jake. What are you looking for from the Packers defense against the Panthers?
Yeah, so the Panthers, I looked up some numbers. The Panthers are 12th in the NFL in total yards. They have 2,531 yards coming into the year. 1,095 of their yards are off the rush. They average 136.9 yards per game on the ground. That's 5th in the NFL. The Packers obviously have been really good against the run this year. The Packers are 2nd in the NFL in yards per game allowed, and they've only given up 2 rushing touchdowns the entire season. So the Packers have been rock solid, and that's really where the Panthers get the bread and butter. I don't really give a shit who's in that quarterback. Andy Dalton, he sucks. He's horrible. He's terrible. I don't care if that hurts somebody's feelings that I said it that way. Bryce Young, also barely an upgrade in my opinion. So I'm not really worried about either guy.
Bryant, what are you looking for from the Packers defense?
Yeah, so linebackers need to just be ready to go after the running backs. Rico Dowell and Chuba Hubbard will definitely be a big part of this game. I'll say they need to attack the ball. Carolina has thrown 6 interceptions, but they have also lost 6 fumbles. So they will put the ball on the ground. So we need to go for that. Really, if we're allowing Rico to have 20 carries, we're probably in a little bit of trouble. That means we're probably letting them stick around and stay in the game. Rico has been pretty good. I'll say Carolina's defense has looked better than what they have been. If you take away the shutout they put up against Atlanta and then the game they had against the Jets where the Jets couldn't really get anything going, their defense is giving up an average of 31 points a game. In the other 6,
that game was 13-6. By the way, that was an awful football game.
So they're giving up
only road win of the year. Also,
yeah. So, but for our defense, sorry, I kind of got on our offense there. But for our defense, Tept is having a really good game. But so he'll probably our really good season so far as a rookie. He'll probably put up some points, and then they're tight end, so he'll probably make a few plays, but I feel like we really have to focus on Rico Dowell and just not let him get going. And like I said, they have a -5 turnover ratio, so we just really need to attack the ball. I feel like we can, turn the ball over against them. And also, Andy Dalton did just get sacked 7 times, so there's that. So, need to get pressure on them. I'll talk about some of the injuries coming up, and you can see how decimated the potentially that their offensive line that's already not that good might be. So look forward to going to this game and seeing what happens.
They're gonna be feeling themselves. First game back at home after 2 road games, and they're wearing the alternate uniforms for the only time this season. Yeah, they're gonna be going crazy.
Yeah, I'll say that
kickoff, dude.
Romeo Dobbs might twerk twice this game.
We got to be careful not to have another freaking Browns game. I'll say that because Carolina's defense is decent, so we got to be careful not to have another Browns game. Because
that was a road game.
I know, but we're coming off of a high. We were coming off of a high of beating the Lions and beating Washington. Now we just went and it was a high emotional game beating Aaron Rodgers. Just be prepared for this. Don't take you can't take a breath. You got to keep going. 1-0 every week.
We'll see if they learn from that early season mistake.
Yeah.
Darian said, I'd like to see our defense cause more turnovers going forward. We can trust our run defense to do their part, and the pass rush can get home, but we have to get more out of our coverage. And I think that's where Bryant is going with attacking the ball. And that maybe means taking some risks. But Simon, what else are you looking for from the Packers defense?
Yeah, I echo a lot of the Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard things. I don't think Bryce Young or Andy Dalton are any good. And honestly, their receiving room's not really great. I like Ted McMillan a lot, but he's still a rookie. Taven Sanders is okay. I like Jalen Coker a little bit. Xavier Legette's, I have no idea. Like, he's just kind of a guy right now. I mean, this is only his second year. So I call him like kind of a subpar receiving room. I think they're pretty turnover prone, and they give up pressures about middle of the pack. Their offensive line isn't terrible, but it's not great. So I feel like with the pass rush that we have currently, they can definitely force some bad QB mistakes. So I'm looking for a couple interceptions this game.
So obviously you guys have brought up Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. Rico is playing for pride and for money for sure. What I did write down was Colby Wooden currently leads the Packers at a 10.6% run play tackling at an average depth of 0.6 yards per play. Rashawn Gary is actually third on the team at 10.1% at an average depth of 3.0 or 3.1. And Lucas Van Ness is fourth at 8.5%, an average depth of 2 yards. The number 2 is actually a linebacker. It's Isaiah McDuffie. So he's been very good against the run so far this season as well. But for me, the defensive line is about continuing to run. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Justin said, does anyone have thoughts on Valentine? I want to see him more instead of all the dancing after the plays. I mean,
dancing after he broke up a touchdown pass.
His confidence.
I want to dance.
I'm okay with it.
I like it.
I mean, Jair Alexander used to gritty on Justin Jefferson. If it's a swagger thing that gets you into your opponent's head, I'm all for it.
It breathes energy into the defense. Everybody used to like Donald Driver freaking dancing after he caught a 4-yard pass.
Hey, does anybody know if that play happened before or after DK took that penalty too?
No. Sorry, what?
Does anybody? I can't remember if CV broke that pass up before or after.
I can't remember.
Before, because I think they showed Rodgers going as a slow-mo leading into halftime or into the 2-minute warning of halftime.
So I thought CV played outstanding, and I know, and we talked about this, the fact that they call that Roman Wilson catch a touchdown, but then the Marvin Harrison one the week prior is in a fumble. It doesn't make sense to me. They're the same play. So
because it happens in the end zone, it becomes a dead ball as soon as it establishes.
If it's a touchdown, then it should be a catch and a fumble on the field.
Again, nobody knows what a catch is. I'm just going to keep saying it. Nobody knows what a catch is anymore.
But I'm happy with CV, and he can dance all he wants if he's going to keep making plays.
Yep. Hell yeah. It's better than watching friggin' Nate Hobbs give up long passes and then Nixon give up on long passes, dude. The Nixon stuff starting to bother me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Darian said he's hoping Van Ness can come back and practice, as am I. David said if Dalton plays again, we should have great pass rush success. If Young plays, it'll be a little tougher. He's so short, he'll be hard to find back there.
Great success.
Michael will find him.
Great success.
Yeah, Michael. All right. Let's jump into Bryant. What are you looking for from special teams?
Just be competent, please, for the love of God. You're back in your home field. Nothing special. Romeo Dobbs.
I thought we were on the road to recovery, Bryant.
No, I can't when they keep relapsing, okay?
There's nobody like to crash out more than Bryant on special teams.
Rich Bisaccia has a problem. He needs to go to Special Teams Anonymous because we're doing fine. We're putting Romeo back there. He's making not great returns, but he's doing something. Instead, he's like, hey, let's put the dude that tries to catch the ball over his head with one hand back there to see if he can, catch a punt. And then he immediately muffs it. Stop with the crap, okay? No. Stop.
Scott asked why they don't use Bo Melton back there. He's a gunner. He's one of the guys on the side that's blocking.
He's also on kick returns. Bo Melton is on kick returns. So I don't think they want to use who's on kick returns as a punt returner, which is fine. Put Golden. I'm okay with Golden back there. I think he's still a little timid from getting lit up. Just tell him not to spin around. He's not a ballerina out there. And then, but Romeo Dobbs is fine. I don't want to see Keyshawn back there at all, ever. If you want Keyshawn to do a return, if you want Keyshawn to make a return, if he wants to do a return, put him back on the kick return. That's fine by me because he seems to know how to catch those because they're more of a line drive. But when it's a punt, he struggles a lot. So,
Darren said he's going for the substitute teacher to kick until he misses before watching McManus again.
No.
Brian made a good point on the flash in the pan thing, and I agree with him on the first kick being a 57-yarder. That's a tough kick. Yeah. But the 44-yarder he's got to make.
Yeah, he's got to make those. And in his career, he's made it. In his career, he's made. I think when we did it, it was well over 90% of his 45 and in kicks. He'll probably be fine. He probably rushed back a little bit. I'm not giving up on a veteran kicker that has kicked well for us until one tough game after an injury.
Yeah.
There's a reason that Haverslick was almost a substitute teacher, okay? He came in and made some big kicks, but guess what? He also wasn't on a team.
By lots of people.
Yes. So just be competent. Before Rich wants to do all this nice fancy stuff, I'm all for Nixon being on a kick return, by the way, because I think he could break one. But before we try all this fancy stuff, we just need to be competent first. You gotta walk before you can run.
Yeah. David asked the important question: did y'all see the Dobbs twerk? We absolutely did.
It's the background of my phone right now.
When Simon calls me, it just goes on repeat, so it's just
one of those live pictures. Every time you touch it, it does the twerk. So as far as coaching goes and time of possession, I mean, the thing that I'm really looking for is for Matthew LaFleur to ride the hot hands, whether it be Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft, yes, Emmanuel Wilson when he's right, Christian Watson, Carrington Valentine on the defensive side of the ball. Just ride the hot hand. And I will say that I do respect Dave Canales. I think he's a good coach. I think he's got the Panthers kind of going in the right direction.
I agree.
All right, Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
First thing I'm looking at is Jack Rabbit versus Jack Rabbit, and that's Tucker Kraft versus Christian Rosenboom. He's one of the starting linebackers for the Carolina Panthers. That's going to be a really key matchup that's going to determine a lot of what happens, especially on third down. Christian Rosenboom has struggled in pass coverage, and obviously Tucker Kraft is an absolute freaking maniac, dude. I don't know if I love anybody more on this team than Tucker Kraft. Panthers are coming off a game where they gave up 245 yards rushing, 7 yards per rush. The Bills took all their anger over the last 2 weeks on them. Obviously, that should be where Green Bay tries to focus. But Carolina has actually been pretty solid, middle of the pack against the rush. This is even after giving up that big game. They rank 16th in the NFL, giving up 111.6 rush yards per game overall. They only give up about 310 yards per game collectively, which is 11th in the NFL. They're pretty decent on third downs, actually. And the last thing I'll talk about is they only have 13 sacks as a team. So if you can get the run going, get the play action run going, Jordan Love and the boys should have a day. And Bryant, I'm sorry to say this. You talked about it earlier about Josh Jacobs, maybe sit him out so he can get healthy. This is probably the game because they're not sitting him the next week because we play the Eagles next week. So sorry.
I'm going to jump in just because you brought up something already. You brought up the sacks. Carolina does have the 30th graded pass rush grade. They have 99 pressures in 8 games. That's about 6 per game. The Packers have 157 pressures in 7 games. That's about 22 pressures a game. So as far as the passing game distribution goes, I'm looking for Love to take his time a little bit. There's no TJ Watt coming for you in this game.
No.
So as far as the red zone goes, the Packers are number 6 in the NFL. It's at 70% touchdowns in the red zone. Carolina is 12th, allowing 58.3%. So I'm looking for 4 or 5 trips and 3 or 4 touchdowns in the red zone. Bryant, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
Yeah, kind of as I said earlier, other than the 2 games, their defense has given up quite a bit of points. But even in those higher scoring games, as Jake alluded to, not a lot of it was done through the air. They're still not giving up a whole lot through the air. They gave up like 260 to Dak, and that was the highest. Their 2 cornerbacks and their tight ends are very good. So we need to establish the run and get something going for sure, I'll say, against them. Jordan Love should have plenty of time, really, unless we just have a really bad performance. They don't have anyone that's going to be crazy along the defensive line. I will say this, as good as they've been in the secondary against wide receivers and stuff, look out for Tucker Kraft this game because Carolina has given up 44 receptions, 528 yards, and 4 touchdowns to tight ends. So they've given up a good amount of chunks of yards to tight ends. So I think Tucker could find some room again in this game. And maybe we use the short passing game to get the game going, keep the ball moving if we're having trouble in the running game. But I do feel like we should have quite a bit of time. I feel like we're just better than this team. If we don't turn the ball over, even if we just tie the turnover ratio with them, I feel like this is a team we should beat. So unless we make some boneheaded plays, the one player I would say stay away from is J.C. Horn. He'll pick the ball off. No necessary need to pick on him if you can avoid it.
And they have enough guys that they don't have to try to force at him for any reason. Darian said, I'd like to see Savion Williams more in the offense, especially in terms of scoring another touchdown. That's definitely one of those things. They should just run the play that scores the touchdown every play.
I think the way they're using him is actually really good.
Yeah. Simon,
I want to see them do that from their own 15 and watch Savion Williams run 85 yards.
Oh.
Simon, go ahead.
The only real player on their defense I like a lot is Derek Brown. I think he's easily their best defensive player. He's not necessarily a game wrecker or anything, but it's just kind of someone to watch out for in the middle. Like you guys said, their pass rush is virtually non-existent this year, and Love's been one of the best in the league when not pressured. I think this is going to be another huge Jordan Love day. Put the ball in his hands, give it to Tucker Kraft for another 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm good with it. Just take care of the ball. Don't give that. A lot of their points, I feel like, have come from a couple turnovers. They've gotten good field position in. So just take care of the ball.
Bryant, what are the injury designations to watch?
Yeah, so for Green Bay, we got Dontavian Wicks, LVN. I talked about Neiman. I'm guessing he's going to end up on IR. Zach Tom, we'll just have to keep an eye on his foot. I'm sure they'll maybe give him a day of rest. Or Green Bay always has a CVS list of
limited.
I feel like they tell players to take one play off in practice so they can put them on as limited on the report or something. Walker did go out towards the end of the game, but it was towards the last drive, so it's possible he'll be fine. So hopefully that's good. And then a couple players that could, we're hoping to see come back. Colin Oliver, that one seems up in the air. I have a feeling that's just going to turn into a redshirt year.
I think so.
Marshawn Lloyd, you would have thought he would have been back by now. I don't know. And then Brenton Cox Jr., soon. Reed is still a ways out. I don't think we see Reed until maybe end of December time frame.
I think week 14 is when we were looking at.
So, and then for Carolina, it does sound, I guess Bryce Young had a good running session on Monday, and they think he'll practice tomorrow, so he'll probably be back. They do have one guard that's possibly his window is open, Zavala. They'll need him because Brady Christensen, who is their guard, went on IR. Taylor Morton, their offensive tackle, hurt his knee and did not return to the game last game. And then their center hurt his ankle and did not return to the game. So they had 3 offensive linemen go down last game. They could be really hurting there. Other than that, that's quite a bit to watch this game. I feel like a lot of the teams we've played against have been more healthy than us. So this one's kind of evened out. I feel like we're getting healthier finally to a certain degree.
Yeah, and I think as far as the Packers injuries go, listening to Matt LaFleur talk about the injuries when they came out of the Steelers game, that Neiman was the only one that he sounded concerned about.
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, what is the weather going to be like?
Bryant, you'll be comfortable. Your kids will probably have to bundle up, though. Mostly cloudy, high of 52 degrees, wind southwest at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Kids are small. So it would be a nice day. I would wear just a light jacket.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice day.
I seen there was rain earlier in the forecast, but it pushed out to Monday, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yep, I saw that today, too. I make sure to not take my weather notes until, literally the day of, so I can try to get the latest stuff for you.
Yeah.
Justin said he was proud to see Quay keep his composure when DK tried to poke him in the eye. If you had to make a challenge, like a keep your cool challenge between DK Metcalf and Quay Walker, it's the meme of the guy sweating, not sure which button to push.
Yeah.
He actually did a locker room interview about it, saying like your emotions run high in the game and stuff, but he managed to like keep his composure. And he said he's like learned a lot since his rookie year.
Said he
More or
focuses
less
on it in between plays.
One thing we have to give credit to, we had to give some credit to Jair Alexander. He kind of started Quay on getting him to doing some calming stuff.
That's
so
fair.
I want to give him some credit. All right, so let's jump into some X factors. Bryant, who is your X factor?
Yeah, this might be a little cheap after this last game, but for the reason before the stats I gave about Carolina against tight ends, I'll go with Tucker Kraft for back-to-back just monster games.
they said 150 and 2 touchdowns.
I'm going to go with Romeo Dobbs for reasons that I'm going to say in a future segment. So, Jake, who's your X factor?
So I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but I'm doing Packers run D versus the Panthers run game, because if you let the Panthers get their run game going, you allow them to get the play action game going. So it's critical because Bryce Young, in his success, he has 102.3 QBR when on play action compared to a 78.1 with no play action. He has a 72.9 completion percentage on play action compared to a 57.6 with no play action. So it's like literally night and day. He also averages 7.4 yards per attempt on play action, 5.1 with no play action. He gets an extra second of time, 3.21 seconds off of play action compared to 2.61. So stop the run, you stop the Panthers.
Darian made a good comment, said that Warren Brinson to me is developing nicely with his limited role, limited time on the field. I think that's a great call out. And David said his interview being Quay's impressed me. Justin said his X factor would be Colby Wooden versus the Panthers running back. Could be a huge X factor. You must have heard a great stat about that earlier. So Simon, who is your X factor?
I literally had what Justin put.
Colby Wooden?
Yeah, I had Colby Wooden.
Nice. All right. Glad I call that out. All right. Let's do some score predictions. I'll let Simon, since you went last on X factors and got scooped, I'll let you go first. Give me your score prediction from the head.
31-21.
All right. Bryant?
I say we return to our lovely number of 27. We win 27-16.
Ooh.
All right. I have 30-17.
Ooh.
Okay. I have 30-20.
All right. Scott said his X factor is Christian Watson. That's all good.
I gotta give a shout
Justin,
out.
you're good, man. Justin, you're good, man.
I have to give a shout out to Scott because
Beat me
Scott,
to it.
he gave a
Scott
score
said
prediction of
42-14. Damn. I don't even have that from the heart. Simon, what do you got from the heart?
Well, Jake, what were you saying about Scott?
I have to give Scott a shout out. He picked a score prediction of 35-27 last week. He was very close.
Close, yeah.
We also gave a bold prediction of 4 sacks. We had 3 sacks. So Scott was on the money last week. Nicely done, Scott.
31-17. I like it.
I have 35-14.
All right. Bryant?
35-10.
Ooh, I have 35-9.
35
No touchdowns.
I have 37-14.
All right. Bryant, give us Simon Says.
Yeah, this one's easy. I went for Tucker Kraft goes for over 100 yards again.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Scott said Parsons 5 sacks this week.
Good God.
That's just
Trying to
because
have
you're just saying that because Garrett just
Miles
did
Garrett
it.
game. I'll say this: if Miles Garrett can do it, Micah Parsons can do it. I mean,
I agree.
But the Packers also won't lose by 30 points either.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And Miles Garrett is just, I mean, that dude is
he's so good.
he's on pace to be the best pass rusher ever.
Justin said if it's 35-9 now, he better be because of a safety. If we have a safety against us, I'm not going to be a happy camper, even if it ends
Unless
up being
it's just like we just take a safety to like at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Outside of some very unlikely context. All right, Jake, give me your offensive. Simon Says.
I have Jordan Love with back-to-back games of 350 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I think it's going to be a Jordan Love game. I'm all for it.
Bolt, so, hey, hell yeah, dude. Give me that check mark.
Oh, no, Scott. Nope, Scott backpedal. Don't backpedal, Scott. Stand your ground. Now he said,
on business.
Oh, he just wants Gary to get 2 of them.
Justin said
Oh,
6 interceptions.
He meant it better not be
Better
because
not
of the
be.
safety.
Not better
That makes
now
more
be.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's the end of the game, we just run backwards and take a safety, whatever.
Yeah, we just like Dan Orlovsky it and
Well, what was it? The Ravens that did that against the Bengals? They just took like 8 holdings
Yeah.
with like 4 seconds left on the clock, and then just took
yeah, but I think they like did something to that rule where you like can't do that anymore or something. It was
Well, they just made that where the other team can deny their time runoff.
yeah, it was something like that.
Scott said Love 400 plus yards.
Has anyone thrown for 400 yards this year?
Oh yeah,
Probably Baker Mayfield.
I think Joe Flacco did it. Didn't he throw for? Maybe not.
No.
but someone did.
I'll have to look that up.
I wonder if maybe Josh Allen did against the Panthers because they just put up 42 points. Oh,
No, James Cook had 250 yards.
Lamar Jackson, maybe.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt.
Week 1. Justin said 5 total touchdowns, including a Watson and 2 more for Kraft. Love has 130 plus passer rating. That I could be down for.
All right.
So mine for offense is the reason Romeo Doubs is my X factor is because Carolina has allowed some huge wide receiver 1 games. Stephon Diggs went for 6 receptions for 101. Waddle went 6 for 110 and a touchdown. Pickens went for 9, 168 and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir had 6 for 88 and a touchdown. I'm going to say that Romeo Doubs goes 7 for 110 and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, I could see that actually.
That'd be crazy, but fine. Works for me. Yes, I don't care who gets the ball. Yeah, and then the other one was Russell Wilson versus the Cowboys.
Everybody saw that coming.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that game. And those are the only. And Josh Allen had 394 versus Baltimore in the first game of the season.
Okay,
all right. So I had the right guy, just wrong.
Yep.
All right, Brian, you got one for defense?
I do. Defense has 1 interception and 1 fumble recovery this game. I know that doesn't seem crazy, but that'd be a lot for us.
Yeah, at this point, I have something similar. I have the defense snags 2 interceptions.
You can see that too. Jake, what about you? You got one for defense?
This one's fun. I had fun. Bryce Young and Dalton each get sacked 2 times each, and they both throw a pick.
Jeez. Someone's getting benched or
starts and gets
No. I think that Bryce Young will get hurt.
Oh, gosh. Hate predicting. Sure.
Dude, he's tiny.
Scott, we appreciate it, and we appreciate all the comments as well. Mine for defense is actually on the running game. I have the Packers hold Rico and Chuba both under 4.5 yards per carry. Chuba is only averaging 3.6 this year, but he's capable of more. But Rico Dowdle is averaging 5.7.
5 point some, yeah. I mean, the run D has been playing pretty well. I could see it.
All right. Brian, do you have a third one?
I do have a bonus
I
one.
fucking knew it.
It's kind of away from what everyone else did. I put Josh Jacobs, if he plays, has 3 rushing touchdowns. They've given up 9 rushing touchdowns on the year, so they've given up a decent amount.
Josh Jacobs is going to get his 1, obviously, at least.
But didn't you have 3 games in a row of 2?
Yeah. I could see it.
Scott said our defense will have 2 plus turnovers, so he's with Bryant on that one. All right. Simon, do you have anything else you wanted to throw out there?
Packers offense scores 6 total touchdowns.
Ooh, in the first half.
Please.
That'd be sick. I'd want Jordan Love to. I don't care if we're going in like the third quarter, we're up 42-0. I'd want Love to break that single game record.
I'm still mad that Rodgers didn't break.
Yeah, that guy he got pulled.
Yep.
I mean, I get it, but
record and then put Malik Willis in.
Did Brock Osweiler throw for 7?
I don't know.
I don't even know if he has 7 in his career, Brian.
I guarantee he has at least 1 6 touchdown game. Look it up.
You know who else has a 6 touchdown game?
Brock Osweiler since I was in high school, bro.
Matt Flynn. You know who else? Mitch Trubisky has a 6 touchdown game.
He does.
Yeah.
Scott said that would be great to see. Justin said Gary's going to go nuts this game. I see him getting a strip sack for a touchdown soon. If he gets a strip sack, he is absolutely not the one scoring the touchdown. I'm just going to say that. If he's got to get a strip sack, he is ripping a quarterback to the ground.
He's going to be too busy doing this.
If he gets a strip sack, it's going to be Edgerrin Cooper scooping and scoring it. All right. So let's jump in. Last segment, we got a bonus segment this week, some trade targets. Bryant, I know, is very excited for this. So I'm going to let Bryant go first. Give me your lowest of your 3 trade targets first.
Yeah, it's not because I wouldn't want him. I just don't know that this team would be ready to. Thursday night may change it if they lose. It's from Baltimore. If they get a surprising loss against Miami, Chidobe Awuzie from their cornerback from Baltimore. He's older, but he's on the last year of his contract. I think he could be a very good pickup at corner. I just don't know that Baltimore will trade him, but if they go out and somehow lose to Miami, they could. And I'll say as a bonus one, if Jair's apparently healthy now, they're benching him. I don't think we would bring him back, but hey.
Especially the way
I'm just
he's
going
been
to jump
playing.
in. I also have Awuzie. I wrote he's a guy in his 9th year. He's played some high-level football over the course of his career. He has lots of playoff experience, and he's on a 1-year deal with Baltimore.
Super cheap, like $1.2 million.
Yeah, if they lose on Thursday, I think that everything is on the table for them. Especially after they were 1-5 and embarrassed the Bears. That's just hilarious to me. But I think he would be the perfect trade candidate for me. A guy who's older, he could be a veteran leader, and he plays more outside than slot. I think that would be a perfect trade.
Simon, who's your number 3?
I also have a Baltimore player, but it's Travis Jones, the defensive lineman. He's just a monster, plug up the middle. I really like him.
My number 3 is Deonte Banks. He's a cornerback from the Giants, one that I've heard brought up a lot in trade discussions. The Giants did claim a defensive back today, so I think that's potentially on the table. The reason he's my number 3 is because you'd basically be betting on a 2023 first-round pick who had his best season in his rookie year. He's got decent size for an outside corner at 6 feet, 205. He's not necessarily, in my mind, a guy who fixes the cornerback room as much as he is a guy who adds competition to the cornerback room.
Yeah, I looked at him too, and he just wasn't a needle mover for me.
Yeah, like I said, he's a competition guy. That's why I have him at 3. I have a needle mover at my number 1, though I'm sure is on your list, Brian. So, Brian, who is your number 2?
And I'll say I just kind of put 3 down. I don't know if they're necessarily, but I do think this is another dude we could get, and that's Alontae Taylor from New Orleans.
I also have him.
Like an honorable mention for me if I had some.
Yeah. So I feel like he's another guy coming towards the end of his contract, if I'm not mistaken, or easy to get out of. I feel like New Orleans, I'll say this. I don't know that Green Bay is going to pull off trade because we don't have much capital. However, I feel like New Orleans could be like a type of team that would be like, okay, we'll take Luke Musgrave and maybe like a mid-round pick or something like that for him, or Dontavian Wicks, because they need wide receivers there too, especially if they're going to trade Chris Olave, like there's kind of talk of
Shaheed. And Brandon Cooks is 90, so
exactly. So if we could get Alontae Taylor out of New Orleans and get him up in Green Bay, I think that'd be a very smart move.
He's got some dog in him too, so I'm on board with that. Simon, who you got for number 2?
That Alontae Taylor was my number 1, but you guys go ahead.
All right, Jake, who's your number 2?
This is where I have Cardell Float. He's a really good trade candidate as well. He's young. He's playing on an expiring contract. He's looking for a big payday. He's a guy who's having his best year right now. So kind of the timing of it kind of lines up perfectly with the Packers, who could give up a late round pick and give the guy a stage to show off. He could play some winning football and maybe show that he has some playoff experience as well. But I think that he's a guy. He plays a lot more outside corner. The reason that I didn't put Buddy from New Orleans is because he's primarily a slot corner, and we do not need a third slot corner on this team.
Yeah. My number 2 is Shelby Harris, a defensive lineman from the Browns. Part of what makes Cleveland's defensive line so formidable is Shelby Harris. He is 34 years old, so he's kind of a right off into the sunset type trade candidate. So I think that would lower the cost for him. He's on an expiring $3.1 million contract. I think he's a perfect trade candidate to give the Packers some defensive line depth. Bryant, who's your number 1 guy?
Yeah, I have a couple honorable mentions I'll say at the end. I did go all cornerback because I think that's the most likely.
Should we say it on 3 together?
Yeah.
I bet my number 1 is your number 1.
Do you think so?
I think so.
We can try.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Brandon Stevens.
Turner. All right.
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm Brandon Stevens from the Jets.
All right.
So I feel like he's another young player. He's, playing really well, good outside corner. if we get them out of New York, they're going to need as much capital, our players, as they can possibly get. I don't know what we could send them. Maybe that's a Kingsley Ngbari trade or something like that. Not that Kingsley's been playing well, but we're not going to be able to sign him, so we might be looking at someone we need to move. But yeah, I went all cornerbacks for the ones I actually think are good. Do you want me to do my honorable mentions now, or wait till the end so I don't scoop anyone?
Yeah, let's hold on to him for a minute. So my number one is DJ Turner. I'll just throw it out there because I thought that for sure who your number one guy was going to be. The reason I have him on my list is because Brian Gutekunst did actually call the Bengals about him. He did also ask about Cam Taylor-Britt, but DJ Turner is by far the better of the two, which would make him the more expensive piece to acquire. He's a week and a half away from being 25, but he is PFF's third highest graded cornerback in coverage with at least 50% of snaps. So DJ Turner is the guy that I think would be a needle mover for the Packers defense.
I don't know that we have the capital for him, so I will say this. One of my honorable mentions was Cam Taylor-Britt.
Yeah. Simon, who would be your number one guy?
Surprised you guys didn't mention Tariq Woolen.
That's another player I think
I
might be
the Seahawks as sellers is the reason I didn't put him on mine.
Yeah, that was I guess the only reason, and I think he's a better man corner than he is. He's got some length and speed to him, so I don't know how well he'd fit into our in Jeff Hafley's system. I think this could be interesting more than it would be like a needle mover. Evan Neal from the Giants. He's kind of been considered a bust up there. Maybe a change of scenery. Get him in with Adam Stenovich. I think it could be interesting. Throw him in at guard. Could always use the inside help. I think he's a good run blocker. He struggles a lot in pass pro.
Yeah, I would say maybe in the offseason you could take a shot on a guy like Evan Neal.
Yeah.
Cody said he was considering a pick and a player for Logan Wilson until I saw the contract.
His contract's gross.
He got waived, didn't he? Didn't he just get
No,
cut?
you're thinking of Pratt. He went to
Jermaine Pratt.
He went to Indy, I think.
Oh, that makes sense. Their defense is pretty good.
All right. Jake, who's your number one guy?
My dream trade would be Dexter Lawrence, but I don't think that's going to happen with the contract that he's getting. He's getting 15.5 this year, 18.5 next year, 15.5 the year after that. Then he's a free agent when he's 30. He would instantly give the Packers the best front seven of football.
That would be amazing.
So I did sidestep, and the guy that I've been talking about for the last couple of years is Calais Campbell. It makes way too much sense on paper, so it's probably not going to freaking happen. But he'd be a really good starter. Obviously, a guy that's been around for a while. He's really good against the run. He can rush the passer one-on-one, and the Cardinals are literally not going on anywhere. So I think it just makes so much sense, dude.
Even if they weren't in one of the better divisions in football, they're still not.
Dude, they have no sense of direction. Look at their quarterback, dude. It's when the leader of your team, you have to put into his contract that he can't play video games. Literally, when that's a thing in real life, that is just sad. That is sad. You wasted a number one overall pick on this guy.
Yeah.
I feel bad for
Athletics. We're going to do the same thing. So what does that tell you about that organization too?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, that was one of my other, and I was saying it last week that he should just, if we beat them, he should just have to get on a plane with us. That was one of my other honorable mentions. And then my last one, which was completely different from what I think we actually need, but could be interesting, was Mark Andrews.
Whoa, that's good. I can't even put a sentence together. That's really good. I like that.
Yeah. So he's on an expiring contract. That would be very interesting to pair with Tucker Kraft.
You think they would do it for Aaron Jones on a third-round pick?
Aaron Jones?
I knew you were going to bring that up, dude.
Is that a thing from a few years ago?
I can't remember. Bleacher Report said that, right?
That's right. That's what. Who said it?
Who said it? CBS?
Some idiot, probably.
Was it Olisco Sports Heroics or whatever?
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Does that guy still go? I never see their stuff anymore.
It's because everybody knows that it's clickbait garbage.
They probably rebranded to some other stupid thing.
No, there's still, I know they still exist. I just
from it.
Also clickbait garbage.
I love that they get crapped on in every comment section.
Dude,
it's so funny.
I'll say they have 2 decent writers, and that's about it. And I'd be happy for those people if they went elsewhere.
Yeah,
but
completely fair.
98% of their stuff is clickbait garbage. The other guy that I would throw out there, like Brian said, is not really a position of need, but a guy that I would be interested in adding just if the price is right and they're willing to sell him. I would be interested in taking Arden Key from the Titans. He is a very good pass rusher. And again, if the Titans are looking to just sell for whatever they can get, can never have too many pass rushers. And you can also use, we've seen literally this week, Micah Parsons used on the inside. So all that does is give you more flexibility, more steam, and another proven guy at the pass rush positions.
Yeah, then you'd have a four-headed monster at the DN position.
Yeah. And you could kick LVN inside a little bit. Like, yeah, that would be an embarrassment of riches for something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I do also want to throw this out there. There's a 99.999% chance that it is not happening, but Brian Gutekunst did call the Dolphins about Devon Achane.
Dude, I heard that and I was like, holy.
Oh,
Is
dude,
that
can you
true? I don't know
imagine?
how true that is.
So he called basically just to see if they're interested in trading him.
Is there
Not even to offer a trade.
I've only seen that reported by
clickbait.
clickbait. Has that been reported by anyone actual?
I believe it was
ESPN reported,
Butler, who is fairly reliable, I would say.
Who?
Easton Butler.
Yeah, I think he's reliable.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody who stuck around for the whole show. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the comments. Very, very appreciative that people will sit and watch this for an hour and 45 minutes live. We'll be back again next week, recapping the Packers and Panthers game and previewing Week 10. So join us for that. We will see you guys next week.
Go Pack.
Go Pack, go.